Mumbai Indians managed to get better of Sanju Samson yesterday, scoring three more than his 101. But they lost to CSK, obviously, and right now aren't just losing matches, they're losing the basics. Technically, they still have their destiny in their own hands, but for a team that can't even control their no balls, misfields, and they are dropping chances, they look closer to a relegation scrap than making the playoffs. All this and much more in today's episode of the 23rd Yard Club podcast. The CSK spinners kept taking wickets and then they kept celebrating them by hiding their faces, something like this. Not too many quite know the official reason behind it. I searched a little and came up with some various explanation. But watching Mumbai Indians bat against Chennai, and in fact the way they have batted all throughout the tournament, that celebration might have suited Mumbai more than any other team, except it might not have been a celebration. If IPL was a football league with a couple of teams getting promoted and relegated every season, the five-time champions would have been in the middle of a relegation battle with Lucknow and Kolkata at this stage. They have been that poor. The good news for Mumbai Indians, obviously, is that they are just at the halfway mark of the season. 7 matches played, just 2 won. They have the wherewithal to turn things around and can do so by digging deep into their history reserves, especially when they have the likes of Mahela Jayawardena, Karen Pollard, and Lasat Malinga in the dugout, and try and bring out that courage again that had enabled them to do so in previous seasons. That alone, however, will not work. Their batters and bowlers need to take more ownership and save a couple of them. For example, a Mitchell Santner or a Ala Ghazenfar. Not too many have done that consistently this season either. The common thread in this, and the problem obviously is that not too many domestic players have taken the onus on themselves. The trouble for Mumbai Indians last night was the usual one that has been on show all season, but they also floundered doing things that they should have been easiest to control. There were 3 no balls bowled in the innings. In the approximately 63 to 64 other bowling innings that have happened in this IPL so far, only one other instance of a team bowling 3 in a single inning. So that's how bad they were. Those 3 free hits that followed those no balls went for 8 runs in total. Then there were misfields and overthrows, which by my estimate, and it's a rough estimate based on the match that I watched, it ended up conceding about 8 runs for the Mumbai Indians. And then there was that Namandhir non-catch. Now, it's tough to call it a drop when you don't even get in the same pin code as the ball, but that was down to him losing sight of the ball. And on another day, there would have probably been a easy catch there for him. Brevis was on 16 at that stage, and he added just 5 more runs. He got out in the same over, but all of it adds up. All these 1%ers also differentiate champion teams from those down the points table dumps. Now, it might happen on a one-off day. Like Team India had a bad day in the office against South Africa and Ahmedabad at the T20 World Cup earlier this year. But generally, they were quite solid at the bat, decent in the field, and good with the ball. Mumbai Indians have given off a vibe of something or the other going wrong with them when you don't even quite expect it. And that has been their problem. Now, how else does one explain Bumrah's run of wicketless matches? He's got 2 in the last 2 matches, but the 5 matches before that, he had gone wicketless. Or Hardik's 15 overs in this tournament, costing him a whopping 12.66 an over. He bowled just 2 overs yesterday and just 1 in the previous match. He's just picked up 3 wickets in the whole tournament. Or none of the Mumbai Indians batters having even touched 200 this season. A list that has already seen 20 players do that. And it's not like their strike rates are shining too much either. One day, it might all click together and they could start winning matches again, and the playoffs might well be within their grasp. And from there on, it's probably a matter of 2 or 3 more wins to the title. And one day, this channel will also have 44 lakh subscribers instead of the 44 that it has right now. So, yeah, all within the realms of the possible for Mumbai Indians. What's not quite possible, however, is to read pitches before the game has begun from one's drawing room. And while it becomes a lot easier when one is in the middle, there are still a few unknowns that captains and coaches need to deal with when they're having a look at these pitches. It's how quickly the 2 teams facing off can gauge the nature of the surface during the match, and then whether their bowlers and batsmen can adapt accordingly that dictates the direction in which the game goes. Even commentators and other experts watching the game get it wrong at times, which is why yesterday it was fascinating to watch Ravi Shastri interview Ashwini Kumar at the end of the CSK innings. He asked Ashwini Kumar pointedly about the pitch and acknowledged that it did not look like a typical high-scoring 1KD1. This was after Sanju Samson had scored a century and CSK had piled up 207 for 6 in their 20 overs. Now, compared to some of the previous scores at Wankhede, this was definitely below par, but it might have been very easy to mistake it for some good bowling. In fact, it was quite the opposite. Mumbai Indians had bowled poorly throughout the match. They were not great, but even more importantly, Sanju Samson had been very effective with his bat. In that very interview that Ashwini Kumar gave Ravi Shastri, he admitted that the deliveries on the back of the length are tough to hit out, while the fuller ones become easy meat. The trouble with bowling back of the length at Samson is that he uses the depth of the crease exceptionally well, often moving back to create extra length for himself, extra room for himself, which in turn forces bowlers to try and bowl a little fuller at him. That's where they missed their lengths. That's where they missed their lengths yesterday as well. Samson also dug out the Yorker quite well last night. Some of those squeezes through the third man region were a treat to watch, treat to the eye, especially against Jasprit Bumrah. CSK scored 3 for 137 in the 12 overs of the Mumbai Seamers. While in comparison, while the Mumbai Indians lost their wickets early to the spinners, Akil Hussain and Noor Ahmed did pick up a lot of wickets. Their scoring against the Chennai Pacers was equally abysmal. They had no one to replicate what Sanju did, what Sanju's batting did, to go with the consistency that Mukesh Chaudhary and company showed in exploiting the back of the lane deliveries consistently. Mukesh's first 3 overs, which were bowled in the power play, cost him just 15. The rest of the seamers went for 31 from their 7, but obviously one might argue that the game was already out of Mumbai's grasp by then, but still they came in and did their job when Mumbai could have easily smacked a few. It was very evident even at the start that the CSK seamers had not only understood what lengths to bowl, they did so with some perfection, consistency, and there was nobody in the Mumbai Indians batting sheds that tried to disrupt those Chennai seamers' lengths. Obviously, it didn't help that Akil Hussain spun the ball sharply from the word go, but one way or the other, Mumbai Indians were rather underwhelming. That's that for today. Let me know in the comments what you think about Mumbai Indians' performance, and I'm sure not a lot of good things might come out of that. And if Chennai can continue with this mid-tournament charge that has seen them win 2 from the last 3 matches, and whether that helps them make the playoffs. Also, do subscribe. We need to get to those 44 lakh subscribers very soon after all. Bye-bye.